to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Could I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
By Doug,
Second.
second by Bruce. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Approve the minutes of the regular board meeting of July 10th, 2017 and dispense with the reading.
So move.
By Roger,
Second.
second by Bob Van Lannen. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Persons that may be heard, I want to let everyone know that we were congratulating Officer Jim Tinlin on his retirement. His retirement date will be August 15th, 2017. There will be a party held for him on the 9th? 10th. On the 10th, from 3 to 7 p.m. And all of the board members are encouraged to attend and wish him well. That would be the open house. Will be held at the Pulaski Police Department on Saturday, August 19th. And the open house is from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And again, the board is encouraged to
The party was at Memorial Park.
Pulaski Community Park.
Pulaski. Discuss Polka Days 2017. It's from a law enforcement point.
It was actually really good this year. We only had a couple of situations to deal with, and went very well. I didn't have any physical arrests, which is what I want to see.
And the Pulaski Polka Days, they paid under protest, and I had 2 different meetings with them, and I have a fairly good recollection of, what was discussed and how I positioned the villages. And I do have to say that I knew that we were reviewing what we're charging for the buildings and all that, and I did say that I didn't think that it would affect them this year. And I did say that, and I expected the committee not to implement it until probably after Polka Days was over. And you got it done early.
Yeah. I really
And
think
so I really kind of mischaracterized when that was going to be implemented. I thought it was going to be implemented after Polka Days. And it got implemented before.
Yeah.
And so for that, I think we really need to refund some of that money.
it was kind of neat to have that presence there too. They used the outside of the building last year. They didn't really take anybody inside, right? I don't even think they had a key for it. But to get people in there, especially with the bathrooms and stuff, to see our new availability for rent here in the community, I think that wasn't a bad thing for us to have. With the conversations that did happen, I think it makes sense to send this money back to Polka Days, as they were kind of counting on it being a free rental like it was the previous year.
$100 a day for 4 days.
Included in the whole,
Yeah.
we did
And
as a
when
whole
that
park
decision
package,
was
the
made,
whole community
I
park.
had no idea when that was done.
What?
When whoever said Polka Days gets the park exclusively for those 4 days at $100 a day.
Yeah.
I don't know when that agreement was made and who made it.
Right.
There's probably nothing in
Park
writing
rent.
on that.
No, no.
That was park rent.
Well, there was no pavilion there at the time.
No.
Right.
So,
I don't think we should refund them any. We've made the rules. When did we pass that law?
Right.
Years ago.
We passed the rental fees,
We did.
and we should abide by the rental fees that we put out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think if any one of us or looked at as kind of an official, if we have that conversation, I think we should honor it. Even if it were Bruce, Bob, if we lead them towards the idea of things will be the same, you get, here's what Harold said. Harold Otto said in a conversation in February with Reed, he recalls Reed saying, please use the building at no extra fee as you're already paying for it, which was exactly the case the previous year, right?
Yeah.
They had that space. They didn't get the key and open it up or anything, but this makes sense because this is how it was set up in the years past, and the contract didn't exist. There was no written agreement at all. Going forward, that's why we put together those rental agreements, so we have something in writing and expectations and everything else. But we didn't really have that going in, and being that that conversation happened in February, if it was Chris having that conversation with Harold, I'd expect the board to uphold whatever us elected officials had in that conversation.
So basically, it was a misunderstanding of.
Yeah, it was.
Doug, if I may, so we don't
Yeah.
drag this out too long, because I'm going to oppose this, but
Yep.
you made a very good presentation, and I totally understand where Reed's coming from. I totally understand, yes, you have a very valid reason to return the money, but I'm going to agree with Bob Van Lannen here, that we stick to it. My reasoning, I have numerous reasons to why I'm objecting to return the money, and it would just drag this meeting way too long.
Cool.
So if we cannot decide today, I would at least suggest that we table this so we could have further
Okay.
discussion.
One other part of the conversation here in March, Wayne Wood claims that he had a conversation with Reed, and what he recalls of the conversation is Reed telling him we're most likely making changes to the rent, but because we're already aware of your rental for Polka Days, it probably won't affect any of the agreements that we have. Well, to me, that kind of makes sense too, and I could see how that would definitely be said, so.
Yeah, but we're discussing the building or just the rental of the land?
Right. And that's where it's confusing, because it was the whole community park for years and years.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
but, all right, so that's the
Okay.
two pieces of information I had for you.
And where'd you get that information from?
Judge came in, and then separately, Wayne Wood and Harold Otto came into my office, and we had a conversation. They were
Was this prior to
protesting.
Polka Days?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
that Tuesday, I believe, prior to Polka Days. So the tents were
So it was
already
right
going
after
up
our
and stuff.
meeting,
Yeah.
where, because we
It was
met.
the week after our meeting, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But at that time, they didn't have the building rented yet.
Yeah, they
When they came by
already,
yours.
they had, yep, had already filled out that application, because I believe it was the next day after our meeting, he filled the application and put the additional deposit in.
Yeah, but when you had a conversation with Wayne and them, that was before we passed the, when you come-
The conversation was with Reed in March and February.
yeah, that was
But-
before we had anything established there. Before bathrooms were in, or before we had our rental rules in effect already.
The conversation that I had with the three, with Judge, Wayne, and Harold, was after we agreed they need to fill out those rental fees,
Yeah.
or the rental applications, and, well, they already had the regular one for the
I was gonna
Polka
say, they
grounds.
already had the one.
And they already
This was
had,
the additional part that
Yeah.
we had the big discussion about.
they had already filled the application for it and deposited the money, but under protest is how he described it to me.
But the rental fee was already in effect by then.
It was already in effect about a month or a month and a half prior to that.
Yeah. And that's where I got caught not lying.
Yeah.
Well, in my opinion,
I didn't expect it to
they-
affect She
Yeah,
was spoken to.
they didn't have it at Jelinski's, so they have to pay Jelinski's if they were there. So what's the difference if they pay?
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm
The only
just-
question I would have on Joey, did they clean it up that the $75 deposit goes
They
back?
did clean it up.
Good.
To get the $75 deposit back, but that's,
Yeah.
in my opinion, that's a,
Reeves, can I say something?
Can
You'd
I
have to
open the floor?
Oh,
Roger?
I'll second.
Bob? Okay.
I believe 2 or 3 years ago, we had the same situation where they rented the building so they would have nobody else in there. You remember that? There was a discussion at this
I
board.
think I recall that,
Yeah.
Jerry.
And remember, they rented the building so nobody could have it the same day.
Right.
Did
So
we
now to
charge
say that they
anything?
want to pay for something that they said they didn't get? I mean, keep going around in a circle.
Okay.
Yeah,
If you dig up the minutes of the meeting, you'll find it.
right.
I believe we had a discussion on that.
So they rented it, do you remember? They didn't pay anything more,
No, they didn't want nobody in there,
right?
remember?
But I think the understanding that we had for the board was that whole park was kind of given for that $100 a day fee. I think probably
Yeah.
a lot of us would
Like I
assume.
said,
That was our
agreement has
discussion.
existed for a long time. I
Right.
don't know how it arrived at that. I
Right.
have no background whatsoever on that.
that was so many years ago, the
Yes.
$100 a day
Correct.
for the,
Then that go back to the ball diamonds? For the ball teams, $100 a day, same thing. Wasn't that Parks Commission deal?
Yeah, so we made all kinds of changes
Everybody
this
paid
year.
$100 a day.
We made all kinds of changes this spring with, now we have a contract and application that's signed, and the rates changed, and especially with the new building, and so we kind of divided it up even more, where it used to be community park, you get the whole park, fishing pond, parking lot, everything, you know, so we've divided it up now, but that was just this spring, after we kind of had a verbal agreement, so.
if they wouldn't have wanted to use the building, they wouldn't have paid the $400 extra. They only paid $400.
Correct.
But they wanted to use the building.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I think we know enough about it, but what I'm proposing,
I move to table this.
Table?
For
we're,
future town meeting.
we're open.
Hey,
Oh,
can I
yes.
close
Open
the-
session.
Thank you, Gerald. Can I have a motion to close the floor? Roger?
I'll second.
Bob? All in favor?
Aye.
so,
When we talk about, if we table it now, when we talk about it, we can kind of decide what our policy is going to be. Is our policy now, for instance, to charge all nonprofits?
Yeah.
yeah,
Because right now with the Memorial Park, was it the Optimists that had the car show and stuff? We
Yeah.
typically didn't charge them
Not
for
a-
use
not a-
of the pavilion before,
Before, yeah.
but we would now. That's
Now,
the,
it's under the new rental deal.
In the agreement, it says all nonprofits can come to the board to ask for their fee to be waived.
okay.
Yeah, which the show has always asked, the board has always waived the fee.
I don't like to see this table because they want to get their bookwork done,
Okay.
you know.
Well,
So this delays a whole month for,
Their process, yeah. They're slow at it anyhow.
well, I'll make a motion that we do refund this, just because it was verbal agreement in my eyes, and we should honor that verbal agreement, no matter who that verbal agreement was between.
Got a motion?
You know, I'm gonna second the motion because I guess I happen to agree with that if Reed gave them that verbal agreement, then I think we should stick
Honestly,
for
I
it this
did not-
year and no other years.
I did not think that would be implemented as quickly as it got implemented. I did say that. So.
We do good work at the Parks Use Committee meetings.
Let's get her going, right?
I'm okay with motion and second.
Maybe a roll call for this one?
Yeah, roll call, please.
Bruce Butchkuski,
No.
Roger Butchkuski,
No,
Robert Gieske,
Yes.
Doug Prentice,
Yes.
Chris Smith,
Yes.
Robert Van Lannen,
No.
Reed Woodward.
Yes.
We're deciding. 3 no's, 4 yes. We'll return the money.
Number 5, committee reports, labor negotiations of July 24th, 2017. We had closed session for purpose of negotiating a successor collective bargaining unit with the agreement with the Village of Pulaski Police Officers Bargaining Unit. And you will be doing that later on in the agenda. The Fire Department Board of Directors met on July 25th. Their status report was part of your packet. There's no action necessary. The Planning and Zoning Commission of July 26th was part of your packet. The only thing that was informational was a site plan and design review for a new building for Wood Tech Industries. No actions need to be taken by this board. Committee of the Whole of August 7th, 2017 was held at 5:30 p.m. and adjourned at 6:10 p.m. And as a result of that meeting, A, we need to consider to approve and ratify the successor collective bargaining agreement with the Village of Pulaski Police Officers Bargaining Unit.
I'll make that motion to
By
ratify
Bob
that.
Damlin,
I'll second it.
seconded by Bob Gieske. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number B, to place an order for the police squad K-9 vehicle
Make that motion.
by Bruce,
I'll second that.
by Roger. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number C, flex officer position.
I'll make that motion.
To fill that position
Yes.
I'll second.
by Chris. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. D, flexible proposal for the police department as per Chief Hensel
I'll make that motion.
by Roger,
I'll second it.
by Bob Gieske. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 6, to discuss the $26,500 EMC insurance payment received for the destroyed restrooms at the Polka Grounds from the June 14th storm damage / tornado. And I'm going to turn the floor over to Joel because he did get 2 estimates of what it would cost to replace that building.
So, back in June, the insurance adjuster came out at the end of June and he wanted a contractor there. So Badgerland was still working here, so I had them meet us as well. First, he ordered that the building had to be removed, had to come down that day. He needed a bid for the exact building that's there, the block structure, flat roof, exactly how you see it, same size, everything. And that bid was $138,000. And then Badgerland also presented us a bid for a structure that we would build nowadays. I mean, we wouldn't build an all-mason flat roof building, and that bid was $112,000. So, with that all being said, that, you know, doesn't include the whole bidding process. That was just Badgerland giving us a bid for that size of building that was currently there. And then the insurance adjuster took it back to the insurance. Karen and I worked to find it in our policy, and they determined, you know, to issue a check for $26,500. So that's why I'd like to bring that to the board tonight. We did put in $85,000 at the bathrooms in the other building.
Can I see that, Joel? Okay. This is actual cash value payment. So they
If-
took the replacement cost and then
They
depreciated.
They said if we were to decide to rebuild, we possibly could get up to the 57,000.
Okay.
So we're looking at 25,000-ish more possibly to rebuild. And Helona, the insurance, she did say possibly.
It's in the contract that they will give us that, the
Okay.
rest of that. I'm sure it is.
So with that being said, you know, I did seek out a bid to pave around the new Memorial Park Pavilion. We are seeing a little damage with the doors, with the rocks being there, kids are throwing them against the restroom doors. So we need to repaint those. I did need to help a gentleman with a wheelchair into the men's bathroom. Personally, I'd rather see the money go into paving the new pavilion at Memorial, and whatever's left over, maybe putting it into a parks contingency for playground equipment, or whatever else we need for our parks.
You leave a little bit of money on the table, but at the same time, you gotta come up with a whole bunch of money to
make a new
build it.
building, yeah. And you want to
The way I look at it, I don't know if we'll ever build up bathrooms out there the way it is up for
You know, now that we've got bathroom
there.
at the pavilion,
I mean, I can get signs.
it may not be as
Right.
convenient for some
Exactly.
people,
Yeah.
but how much is convenience worth? How many tens of thousands of dollars? So
When you show
I guess-
118,000, 112,000, by the time they get done with engineer fees and stuff, it's gonna be 150,000.
Right.
I kind of agree with Bob.
Yeah.
That's
It's
right.
gonna be, right, Bob? It's gonna be. Yeah. Cause you're gonna send the bill if you do it.
I'm sorry.
I went down there, it is miserable to try and walk around that memorial building there without putting something down there harder than the stones around there.
Do you have a cost of blacktopping around that again?
$17,250.
It's on the second sheet there.
Oh, yeah, right there.
Then I have a question about in regards to how the porta potties worked at Polka Days. And it's not so much a question as they were awful as an option. They were gross. My opinion, because I used them. And I would have preferred to have a flush option, and specifically a ladies.
Those bathrooms were opened.
At the KC building,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah,
Right.
Casey building.
That's correct, but like you said, they're not conveniently located if you're walking all the way around. Just my observation, I would have preferred to have a little better facility. So that being said, I'm probably not the only one that thought it, and yes, you are all guys, but you know,
I
I
agree
spent
with,
3 days there, so I know that they weren't in the best condition, so.
And Polka Days, they do rent those porta potties. We don't for.
No,
for
and
that.
I understand that, but where that facility was,
Yep,
were porta potties that were not in good condition.
I agree with you, Chris, but I can't really agree with spending $160,000 for 1 week out of the year.
No, I understand that, I'm
It wants
just
to-
making a point.
Unless Polka Days wants to slap some money down there and improve the park.
Well, yeah, if they wanna,
But to me, it doesn't make sense either to have another
Okay.
$160,000.
I understand the
building.
cost, I understand that. I am just saying, as a resident, that they were really disgusting. So if you're saying this is the only option, and if you plan on having more functions down there, that's what you get.
Yeah,
So-
that's true.
Chris, may I interject something here, please? I totally agree with you. They are gross. I had a vision years ago when the KC building was gonna get their bathrooms put in, and it took like 4 years, and I thought, man, we're gonna have showers there for the campers, and I didn't totally understand what it takes to get something developed like that. We need electricity down there for them campers, so Polka Days can make a little bit more money than what they are by renting those generators. I would say long range, my vision is long range, getting some toilets down there and showers for the campgrounds. And I don't know where we're gonna get the money, how it's gonna be started, but definitely agree with Bob that it's not feasible to put up bathrooms there, just for a couple of events. But developing the campgrounds and getting bathrooms in there, and that's, I think, would have priority on my list. But it's gonna be a slow, long process.
Joe, at one time the DNR was talking about building something next to the trail. Did that ever?
I haven't heard anything.
I know that been years ago, right? They want to build something by the trail.
I don't think the DNR's doing well with extra money.
Paul, do you know anything?
No, but I can follow up with some people at the DNR and see if there's any grant monies available.
Because I know Ron and Krieger and stuff, they talked to them, and they were talking maybe build some bathrooms along the trail, but that was a long time ago. Because they own that strip of land in there.
I would just like to say that to me, it would be important to put asphalt on that area so that it's wheelchair accessible. And to get rid of those stones which are kind of like here, I'm right here, throw me.
Yeah.
No, Bob, we can't do it.
I can understand what, you're talking about the extra money on this, going for something with the parks, but it seems like to me that coming up here this year, we're gonna be looking for extra money for paying off a flex officer and stuff like that, and I'd love to see that money, because we're gonna be really hurting when budget time comes around, and I guess I'd like to hold that money for the needs of that budget that's coming up, rather than possible other ways to spend it on something else.
So you're
But
making a motion to allow Hugo and Barrett Asphalt to do the
yes, that's the motion I would like to
Memorial
make.
Park shelter?
Right.
I don't think we're closing the window on this claim. In a lot of cases, we have 2 years from the event to rebuild. Maybe we find out, and maybe with the help of Polka Days Committee, if there's some money on the table out there, we shouldn't forget about this, and maybe we should find out when do we have to rebuild in order to get the consideration for
Well, how does
replacement
that
costs.
fit with my motion, though, to use?
That's a completely
17.
separate thought.
Okay. So if you want to do that, then vote down the motion that was just made.
No, I'm just saying, don't vote that down, but if we were to find some money with Polka Days help or whatever down the road, we probably do have 24 months from the event,
Oh, I imagine
June
so, yeah.
14th. It might be a little different on this commercial contract, but in most cases, it's 24 months.
We can check into that.
All right.
Okay, we've got a motion proposed.
I'll second Bob's motion.
Roger seconds it to take and use part of that insurance money to do the paving at the new shelter at Memorial Park.
And then set the rest aside for park
The rest aside
contingency.
for park contingency.
Contingency, not park contingency.
There you
The what?
Well, the recommendation by Joel was park.
Yes, but that was not my motion. My
Okay.
motion is contingency, not necessarily
For
park
park.
contingency.
Okay. Okay, you've got a
You're
motion.
gonna do the blacktopping, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, but it's the
extra money.
extra money from the 26,000, and that, yeah.
We've got a motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Joe will get that done as expeditiously as possible.
The only thing I got now, Joe, is since
Within a certain time.
seeing we give them the Polka Days that $400 back, when Jim Gawlewski was president, he said we could use them, at that time, he had to give us permission to use them tables, picnic tables that the Polka Grounds built. I think they're stored in that little steel. Gawlewski said we could give them to the village to use except that 1 week to put down there, because I give them around down there, he said you should be ashamed putting them old picnic tables we got there. So talk to Wayne Wood or somebody there, maybe we can get to use them tables instead of buying new ones.
Okay.
Thank you. Number 7, payment request, Pulaski Tri-County Fire Department, invoice 620, second quarter 2017 fire runs, $7,478.76.
So moved.
By Bruce,
Second.
by Doug, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Number 8, payment request, Gold Cross Ambulance Service Incorporated, third quarter 2017 subsidy for NEW paramedic in the amount of $14,416.15.
So moved.
By Bob Van Lennon.
Second by Bob Gieske.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Payment request, Wisconsin Department of Transportation for a State Highway 32 project in the amount of $233.81. And that has to be the final bill on that one.
I'll make a motion to pay it.
By Doug, second by Roger, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Payment request, draw number 6, Mountain Bay Development Incorporated, in the amount of $65,506.97, Phase 1 residential development.
I'll make that motion.
By Bruce.
Second by
By
Bob Gieske.
By Gieske. All in favor?
Aye.
Payment request, Robert E. Lee, invoice 72475 miscellaneous, the amount of $1,238.01. Invoice 72476 Memorial Park Building, the amount of $4,233.13. And 72477 Library Soil Contamination Investigation, I believe that's the old Cart Ford property, in the amount of $1,731.52.
A question about that library contamination. If I recollect, I mean, that was done when you repaved it, correct?
No, we've got, we've just been ordered to drill more wells,
By whom?
the state.
Drill more wells.
Yeah.
Monitoring wells.
Oh, monitoring wells. So that's where the cost
So
comes
this
in?
is, that's part of that.
Well,
And
But we're not doing anything about it, we're just monitoring.
yeah, right. So,
I guess I have to go with it.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Who made the motion?
I'll second that.
Yeah.
Roger made it?
Roger and then Bob?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, number 12, consider approve resolution 1180-17, authorizing and approving We Energy's easement agreement over and across Markham Drive property, VP-41-5. We Energy is working with the U.S. Cellular Communications.
I'll make that motion.
By Bob Gieske,
I'll second it.
by Bruce, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 13, consider approve application for temporary Class B license to sell fermented malt beverages and wine. KC Council, 4439 Steak Fry, Friday, September 23rd, 2017, at a special event,
Saturday.
Saturday.
And before somebody makes that motion, they will be filling out the park rental for the KC building. do they pay? The $100 plus the $75 deposit fee?
As it says on the agreement or on the application. For the building they gave us.
Here we go again.
I think
That question's gonna come up.
the question's going to come up. And I think, I don't know if it was ever voted on, I know it was discussed, that they could use that building twice a year.
I think that's correct, that we agreed on that.
That's, yes.
But we also agreed that when they built the building, they were gonna put the bathrooms in stage 2.
Yeah, the bathrooms disappeared.
Yeah, that disappeared, yeah. Their agreement disappeared.
I think it's another nice event that the more people that attend and see the bathrooms, the more apt we are to be able to rent this building out. Have we rented it out at all this summer, other than Polka Days?
No.
Other than the
We didn't
Canine
do
Fund
that.
Run? That building needs to be rented.
Not for money, anyway.
Right.
But then why give it away free of charge? You gotta pay for somebody using it sooner or later.
How about with the Halloween event, when that comes up, the school?
Well, that's a school project though. That
Right.
comes under school. That's a different project.
So what?
Does
School
it
was
say
exempt
that?
from-
Does
Oh.
it say that somewhere?
I don't believe so.
Not in the know.
I don't believe so.
I think Pace rents that out through the school and through Mark County,
I wouldn't think the school
But I
is,
thought the school was exempt from all of that
yeah,
stuff.
so it isn't a for-profit, well, same thing as the KC's, not a for-profit, but they can ask for free rental, it says in the,
Yeah.
Might be advisable to put together a policy and put it online,
okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
park committee.
We got a meeting next week,
That's gonna be a tough policy to put together.
right?
Well, gotta start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
We need a motion, second
So moved.
by Bruce,
I'll second
second by Roger, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great.
No, this is for the beer license, it's,
Number 14, to consider the wine tasting events for Mountain Bay Coffee and Gifts, 1146 Mountain Bay Drive, Pulaski, Wisconsin, Cindy B. Muther. And they're Wednesday, August 23rd, Wednesday, September 6th, Saturday, October 7th, Saturday, November 11th, Saturday, November 25th, Saturday, December 9th, and Saturday, December 23rd.
all the way till the end of the year.
She filled them up?
I'll make a motion to approve.
By Doug,
Second by Bob Gajewski.
second by Bob Gajewski. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 15, to consider approved bartender operator license applications pending 6/30 of 2018.
I just have one.
We have one. This would be for Marjorie Kuba, for Cobblestone, Pulaski, and she's done online, and that'd be approved condition of the chief's approval.
I'll make that motion with chief's approval.
Bob Van Lannen,
I'll second it.
second by Bob Gajewski, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Number 16, persons desiring to be heard. Persons desiring to be heard. Third time, persons
I
desiring to
would
be heard.
like to interject something here. I was going to talk a little bit about this when we were on Polka Days, discussed Polka Days 2017, but we kind of flew through it. So This is what I would like to pursue or implement with Polka Days, and that is in the event that if they would ever cancel or Polka Days would disband, I would like to see Polka Days put down a retaining fee on those dates that they have their function. And dollar amount, I don't know. We could discuss that if you all feel that this would be feasible, but there would be definite advantages to this. One thing, if they would disband, of course, we would keep that retaining money. Otherwise, that could be held for next year, year after, if everybody feels that this would be appropriate and they would approve of it. Reason being is what occurred this year with Jelinski's Ballroom, and it was not a misunderstanding. They knew what they were doing, and and of course, from years past, people try to interject some constructive criticism towards them, and you get shot down. They don't want to listen, and I'm tired of it. And I think this would be a policy that would get them to work with the village of Pulaski a little bit better. Can't really say much more right now, and I don't know how much you want to discuss this, but I would bring this up at probably a call meeting sometime again, and we'll set a date, like say end of September, end of October, that you'd have this retaining fee, and if they don't pay it, then it's opened up to whoever wants to rent that for those days. Simple as that. And it would be protecting the village of Pulaski and that property. Therefore, if they would fold up, possibly somebody else, maybe the village would even assist in running some type of a function, because they have the reputation of having Polka Days or a festival of some sort. And I wouldn't want to see that go to the wayside for all those years that they put into advertising and all the support they got from the public as volunteers and businesses. So it's, I guess I would call it a little bit of an insurance policy to keep a function going on that weekend. So.
When they come to us and say, okay, we're ready to fill out the applications, that would be the perfect time we don't lock away their week until we have those applications and the deposit. Is that enough to?
When do they usually come in to get the?
Have they already told us, hey, July such and such?
It's in their brochure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
it's in their brochure.
It's in their brochure. But we can, obviously, if the board agrees to this, and I don't know if I'll hear some objections from this, about this or not.
Well, if you rent a hall for a wedding or something, you gotta pay a down payment on it.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know what you would charge, but.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know what would be, of course, they're not gonna lose it if they keep the function going. They're not, and if they ever wanna withdraw that, that's perfectly fine. But, so we know that those dates would be open if they would withdraw or dismantle their function.
Put their rental fee for next year down as a deposit for reserving the dates.
I don't think that would be enough money, though. I'm talking several thousand.
Oh, you really want it?
Yes. Well, yes.
Haven't even ever put it on a committee at all.
Well, yeah, I think we can discuss this further, but I just wanted to bring this up. Persons desiring to be heard, I appreciate everybody listening to me, and I think we can discuss this further. So bring your thoughts at the next meeting when we'll put this on the agenda.
But when you're gonna have it, I would suggest you bring the president of the Polka Day Committee here to,
Yeah.
on the.
Yes, that would be advisable, sure.
He's on
Okay.
the Parks Committee now too.
Yeah, he's receiving emails for our Parks Committee use, or Parks Use Committee meetings.
Okay. So, but I would say we should do this soon because time goes by pretty fast,
Well,
so.
they're gonna do their bookwork, their paperwork for this year, so if you want it before they settle up.
Such other matters is authorized by law. Such other matters is authorized by law. Third time, such other matters is authorized by law. 18, department reports, Public Works,
I have nothing else tonight.
Sewer and Water, Jody. Mark, Police.
I've had enough.
Okay. And Carol, any administration?
Nothing.
Nothing, okay.
I'm sorry.
A couple of quick
Yes.
updates. The lawsuits involving the high school water damage claims, they're ongoing. The two cases that are out there that involve the village have now been combined into one. They were consolidated earlier, well, last month, so they're now one case moving forward. In looking into this, apparently there's a third case out there that doesn't involve the village. It looks like it looked like it was an insurance company that went only after the school district and the contractors and stuff, but it didn't involve the village and a couple of other entities that are in the village lawsuit. So apparently there's a third one out there. I couldn't tell too much about it because the CCAP stuff online doesn't give you a whole lot of detailed information about it, but it looked like it was related to that same incident in May. So it looks like there's a third case out there that has some bearing on this, but that's not part of that wasn't consolidated into this case, these two cases. Second thing, our friend from Municipal Court, Mr. Besaw, that filed the appeal. Today was his deadline for filing his brief. He did not do that as of 4 o'clock this afternoon. That it had not been filed, so it's possible that the Court of Appeals may just dismiss it, or they may require us to file a motion to dismiss or whatever. So I'll keep you posted on that, but as of, like I said, 4 o'clock this afternoon, we haven't filed anything, so we'll see what happens. That's it.
Thank you, Bill.
Is there a benefit to consolidating it, or what's the purpose?
Yes, there is. From the court's perspective, you only have one trial. I mean, it helps the insurance companies out too, because the issues are all pretty much the same. It does make it, I mean, if it were to go to a jury trial, it would make it more complicated, because then you have to, the jury has to decide on how much damage each property owner gets. So, you know, I think in each one of them separately, there may be 6 or 7 plaintiffs, excuse me, in that group. So now there's probably 14. I think there were 21 or 22 claims that were filed, or 22 properties that were damaged. So some of them just got their damage, maybe it was minor damage, and they got it repaired by their insurance company and never did anything with it. But it seems to me that there are somewhere in the range of 12 people that are involved in or homeowners that are involved in the lawsuit that the village was named as a defendant in.
Thank you.
Reed, before you continue, we're still with department reports, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is for Joe and Mark. Did you, by any chance, record the overtime for Polka Days, your departments?
I have it all, Roger, but the only thing I want to bring to you is, how do you want this broken apart? Do you want the fun runs, what do you want me to break?
No, actually, I honestly couldn't tell you right now, Mark, but I guess that information would be great at budget time.
Perfect. I mean, I'm just saying that, because we can break it apart for the fun run, to the parade, to the, that's a wide variety of events that go on.
And same with you, Joe, at budget time. So, thank you.
Thank you. Communications, the Park Use Ad Hoc Committee meeting is Tuesday, August 15th, 2016 at 6 p.m. at Pulaski Village Hall. The Planning and Zoning Commission meeting is Wednesday, August 16th, 2017 at 5 p.m. at the Pulaski Village Hall. The Economic Development Ad Hoc Committee Meeting is scheduled for Monday, August 21st, 2017 at noon at Premier Community Bank. We need to schedule a committee of the whole meeting for August of 2017. And probably would suggest it would be the week of the 21st.
Karen, you said 23rd was not good for you, correct?
I know that day.
21st,
It's
on
up to
Monday?
you guys.
5 p.m.?
That Monday work for everybody?
5 p.m.?
21st?
Yeah.
Thank you, Roger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we need to schedule the date and time for the next regular village board meeting to be held in September 2017. No, Labor Day holiday is Monday, September 4th, 2017. I would suggest that it would probably work out nice to consider having it on Monday, the 11th.
Have it at 5 o'clock is all right.
5 o'clock, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Good. And the comprehensive plan is now, we're publishing the 30-day inspection. And so,
Do you want us to read it in 30 days?
yes,
Okay.
it's, it's taking care of the next 10 years. And it's been a very thoughtful document to work through, and Aaron Schutte is just outstanding. He's a good writer. It's going to be a good update. We'll probably formally adopt that at our October board meeting. And so with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn at 7:03 p.m.
So moved.
by Bruce,
Second.
by Doug. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you all for your time.
Bill,